Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be testing out and reviewing the Colourpop Aura Out palette. This is the first time I've ever used any of Colourpop's items, and of course the first time using the Aura Out palette. I'll be showing you how to create this look step by step, showing you swatches of all of the shades and then giving you my final thoughts and reviews on the palettes at the end. There is the palette and there are all the beautiful shades inside. So I have decided which ones I'm going to use for this look. For my base shade, I'm going to be going in with Fresh Cut, which is a lime green matte shade. I can see first of all it's going onto my brush really nicely. And it's definitely going onto my skin really well. It definitely looks like a really well pigmented shade. I've opted for this white eye base because I thought with the colours being quite pastel and quite soft that it would give me that good base to get them to look really vibrant. So far, this is a really beautiful shade. I don't tend to do a lot of lime green looks, so when I saw this palette I thought it looked like the perfect opportunity. I'm going to bring this all the way out to my brow, I think, because it is quite a light shade. I don't think it's going to overpower the look at all. My first impressions so far are really good. I do really like how buildable this shade is so far. Obviously I can't speak for the rest, but so far, great palette. I'll just get this done on my other eye and then I'll be ready to take a look at the next shade. There's Fresh Cut down on both eyes, and I think this is giving me more of like a fluorescent vibe. It's definitely got a really good element of yellow in this green, which I'm really liking. Next up, I'm going to be taking shade Vibes, which is this kind of minty greeny colour here, and I'm just going to be blending that into Fresh Cut. I just want to take this right at the top. So this is a glittery shade and definitely quite a bit more fallout from this one, which I would tend to expect from a glitter shade, but nevertheless it's a really beautiful colour and it is blending in with Fresh Cut really nicely. So far another really pigmented shade and so easy to blend as well, and it's not making the shades look muddy or washed out at all, which I really love as well. So definitely loving that, and you can see that it's blended really nicely considering that's what I started off with. I'm just going to get shade Vibes down on this eye and then I'll be ready to have a look at the third shade in this palette. I'm really happy with how that's blended into both eyes now, and just to focus next on the outer part of my eye, I'm going to be using shade New Age, which looks like it's another shimmery shade, but this one looks a bit more metallic this time. I'm excited to see how this is going to perform in comparison to the two shades I've done already. Definitely going onto the brush quite nicely. Oh yeah, this is a really lovely metallic shade. It's just going on so nicely. That's a really beautiful shade. I'll definitely say that it does look a bit more blue in the actual palette, but on my eye it's definitely coming out more of a mint green metallic. There's not too much fallout from this one either. There's a little bit on my cheek, but nothing major. I don't feel like I'm wasting the shade, or I don't feel like I'm having to get loads and loads on my brush to get it to look pigmented or to show up on my skin. So that is a big positive as well. I think I'll just get the same done on my other eye now. Definitely looking nice and even on both eyes now. And just lastly, for my top lid, I'm going to be using this glitter shade here, and this is probably the shade that I'm most excited about using because I just haven't ever used a shade that's this glittery before, so I'm not sure how well it's going to perform. I'm going to start off with this really flat brush first just to see how I get on with that. Oh, I see, so it's really soft in the pan. It's applying slightly more easier than I anticipated that it would. I thought this would be a bit of a struggle to get down. I just wanted to use this tiny brush just to hopefully help me. So I'm just gonna pat this on rather than, you know, swipe it on. I don't know whether a bit more eye base might have helped, but all things considering, that's applied really nicely actually. There's the glitter shade Energetics down on both eyes now. I think in hindsight it probably would have been a bit more useful or easier to apply if I had used a glitter glue. But nonetheless, I think it's looking really nice. I don't know how much fallout there's going to be throughout the day, or whether I'm going to end up with bits of glitter floating everywhere, but only time will tell. All I've got to do now, eyeshadow wise, is just my under eye. And I'm going to be starting off first by going back in with shade Fresh Cut. And then I'm going to be blending that out with Healing Heart, which is a lime kind of grass green metallic shade. But first, just back in with Fresh Cut. I know I'm not putting a lot on my lower lid, but it's not as bright as the top lid, possibly because I'm not putting so much on, or possibly because I obviously haven't got an eye base on here, but it is still giving me a nice little lime green effect. And into that, I'm just going to go in now with Healing Heart. There's another really easy shade to apply, getting on really well with this. Going onto my brush really easily and giving me a really lovely limey metallic. And I'll just do the same for my other eye. There's all the eyeshadow done, and I'm just going to finish this look off with a white eyeliner on my waterline and then just a black mascara on my lashes. So I'll just pop that on and I'll be ready to look at the final completed look. And there's the final look all completed. I will just give you a close-up so you can see it in a bit more detail. I have to say that I really loved this look, and I really loved how the shades performed. What I'll be doing now is just swatches of all of the 9 shades, and then I'll be giving my final thoughts and feelings about the palette just after that. I'm going to show you the swatches for the first 3 shades, then the next 3, and then the next 3. So these are the first 3, definitely all very different shades. At the top here is Young Love, and this is a true white matte shade. Underneath that is Energetics, which is the glitter that I used for this look. This is a glitter opalescent with violet and mint glitter. I can definitely see the 2 different coloured glitters in the shade here. And underneath that is Vibes, that I also used for this look. And this is a matte pastel aqua, and this has got pinpoints of silver pearl in it. These are the next 3 shades in the Aura Out palette, and just starting at the top here, this is shade Eurovision, and this is a matte pastel yellow, again with those silver pearl pinpoints in it, so you can see just the little silvery flecks in it there. Underneath that is Fresh Cut, which I used for the base shade for this look, and this is a matte true chartreuse colour. And underneath that is New Age, that I also used for this look, and this is a metallic soft mint green, just with some gold flecks going through it as well, so another really lovely shade. And then these are the last 3 shades in this palette, and just starting at the top again, and this is Solar Hour, which is a warm mustard matte. This is Healing Heart, that I just used ever so slightly on the under part of my eye, and this is a metallic lime green. And last but not least, this is Soul Sister, and this is one of their Super Shock shadows. This is a Super Shock Seafoam, again with those pinpoints of silver, which you can just see reflecting there. So this of course is the outside packaging for this palette. I got this in the Cloud Dye set with 2 other palettes. It's obviously got a nice mirror in, and then all 9 really pretty shades. Taking into account that this was in a bundle, that I had to pay customs fees, etc., I think it did work out about £10 or just under £10 for this palette, which, all things considering, is a really great price. I mean, it's cheaper than similar £9 palettes from other brands. I've never used any of Colourpop's makeup before, and I am more than impressed with their formula. I think that the shades I used were really pigmented, really easy to build up, really blendable, and just a really interesting variety of not only shade colours but also types of shades. But overall, I would rate this palette really highly, and I think that I would give this easily a 9 out of 10. It's been a really excellent palette, and if anything, it's only made me more excited to try out the rest of the palettes that I've got from Colourpop. But thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. leave a comment, and if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you again in my next video.